All right, as you can see, joining us live now, our superstar of a political commentator, Scott Reid.
Hardly.
MVP joining us. Scott, oh my gosh, your sons were at the game.
They
what
were
a game.
last night, cheering and having a ball. You know, was feeling a little dry there in those middle innings, but Springer comes through. I think Springer should be recruited for trade talks with Trump. I think that would put it over the fence for us. He was reminding me a bit of you actually last night.
Really?
You know?
What, bad hair?
He kind of beleaguered and aging with the hobbled knee, but when it's on the line, he steps up and cranks it.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, okay. But let's talk about this. Is interesting here too. You got the Jays gear on, and a lot of politicians are going to sort of try to connect themselves to the Toronto Blue Jays right now. We've seen Mayor Olivia Chow do it to sort of varying degrees of some say cringe, some say success, depending on what you think. But everyone's kind of like sending notes of congratulations and let's go team, etc. But Mark Carney, the Prime Minister, this is Canada's team, but likely he's not going to be here because he's got some important business to take care of.
9-day trip.
Yeah.
So like during the duration of the World Series, he's going to be overseas. There's a couple of Asian summits, ASEAN, APEC. So he's going to be tied up. You're right. It's politically tricky when it comes to, sports. The whole country's tied up. Politicians are naturally going to get invited, be at the game, show up. You mentioned Mayor Chow's videos, but you also got to play it kind of cool. Like you can't fake it. And I think what's always works best is when a political leader is a genuine sports fan, then they can bring that honesty to it. It can't be forced. So a little bit tricky. You can step a wrong foot. I'm not so sure about Mayor Chow's videos. That one where she sort of flips the bat and you're like, what's going on here? So we'll see how it plays. But for Carney, he will not be able to attend a World Series game live, I don't think, unless he high foots it back here.
Right. For like a game 6 or 7.
One of the reasons. New speculation today, Globe and Mail, give them credit for the story, suggesting that all of these talks have been happening in Washington may bear fruit in Asia. Possibility that at the APEC summit in South Korea, Carney and Trump may end up meeting and even inking some kind of deal on trade. We'll have to see. A lot of speculation, but we do know Dominic LeBlanc, Senior Minister Point Man for Canada-U.S. Relations, and we know that the Clerk of the Privy Council and our Ambassador to the United States have all been in Washington off and on for the past 10 days, and they ain't there playing euchre, okay? They're up to something, so watch for that. Watch to see if this trip bears a trade.
The fact that they may sign a deal in Asia instead of at the White House or somewhere, Trump territory, that sort of, is there anything to that, or is it just that might be when everything coalesces around it potentially?
It's a really good question because it is not the natural setting for it. But I think it reflects, if it were to happen, and we are speculating, but if it were to happen, I think it reflects the unique nature, again, of dealing with Trump. Like, if you can get your officials to agree with a deal, and you and Trump are going to be in the same place, it doesn't matter if it's in the White House, if it's in Ottawa, if it's on the dark side of the moon, you shake his hand, sign that deal, and get out with it in your fist.
Love the Pink Floyd reference. Okay. Turning to provincial stuff, we know that MPPs returned to Queen's Park yesterday. A lot on the line, including the speed enforcement cameras, but also kind of these skills development fund looming over the Ford government.
Labour Minister David Piccini, nice guy, great guy. Don't know anybody who doesn't like him, but boy, oh boy, he is sweating bullets. And you could see him yesterday under fire in the ledge. People now demanding, opposition leaders demanding his resignation. He's being asked, how were these recipients chosen if you're overruling bureaucrats? And he's basically said, look, buck stops with me. I'm the one that made the call. So on what basis were you making this judgment? Do not expect. It's been so hard for the opposition parties to get a tag on the government. You think about the Greenbelt scandal. They got some traction there. Then that thing sort of faded. This is their first best opportunity since then. So I think that Piccini is going to remain man on the spot. They're going to continue to, pour on the gasoline, throw on the logs, and see if they can get a cabinet minister. So watch that. That's going to be the drama this week.
And I was talking to an opposition member yesterday who texted me saying, they think they've still got another shoe to drop there. So we'll be watching that really, really closely.
Well, that would be interesting.
Municipal speed cameers.
Yes.
Let's get into that because Doug Ford has basically made this one of his top priorities. They're going to get rid of it, but that flies in the face of a polling number suggesting that a lot of residents, or as much as people don't like sort of paying for getting caught speeding, they kind of like them in certain times and zones, i.e.
School
schools.
zones,
and a lot of municipalities are saying, hey, let us do this, but Doug Ford does not seem to be part of this.
So, and add to that today, this story it never goes away, right? Like, this is water cooler politics,
it really
actually,
is,
right? When you're talking about speed cameras, because people have a virulent reaction to it. Like, I hate those things, it's not fair. Or you get people saying, wait a second, in a school zone, I want that thing there. I want it forcing people to slow down. Add to that retired police chiefs this morning issuing a news release saying this is a giant mistake. What I think is so interesting is this is an issue where only one of them can be right. So we talked about the poll yesterday, liaison here. David Valentin was on TV with us all day chatting about the poll results. He's saying majority of Canadian, well, plurality of Ontarians say, you know, I prefer to have those cameras in place. The provincial government has not pursued this with the profile it has and with the passion it has, unless they have polling that shows it works for them, at least with their voter coalition. And their voter coalition is pretty broad. So someone is right and someone is wrong when it comes to these numbers. Mayor Chow and Doug Ford are on a collision course on this issue. They're going to end up in court. They're going to battle and brawl politically. And of course, we have an election year coming up municipally. Mayor Chow thinks this fight works for her. Doug Ford thinks this fight works for him. Only one of them can be right. It's going to be really interesting. I think we're going to be talking about this thing right till election day municipally next year.
Really,
It's not like the Blue Jays and the Mariners where it's like one wins and then, okay, the rest moves on.
This ain't a 7-game series. This thing's stretching for 12 months.
This is going on for a while.
Hey, Scott, appreciate this. Keep the Jays gear going and go Jays go.
Go Jays go,
See you back here next week.
Oh, that was sweet.